Yeah. Just drive down to workout real quick over in Irvine. I thought it was kind of interesting. There's one of the other YouTube pages, I think it's called K9 Boxing. He was commenting to someone saying about talking about David Benevidez. What's interesting though is that he said he didn't. Basically, he doesn't even believe in the term weight bullying. I guess it's a fairly new term, but it's the idea of someone that when they're not in a fight and walking around with their normal weight, like 200 pounds, come fight night though, they're getting down to 150. So once they make the weight, it's not like they're going to get back to their sitting weight within like an hour or two. But for the most part, they're bigger guys. It's kind of interesting though. There's never really like a talk of David Benevidez though, just moving up in his weight class. He keeps trying to like fish out in the media for that Canelo Saul Alvarez fight. It's like, well, why don't you go up in weight? Why don't you go fight someone bigger? Canelo did. He lost, but he still went up in weight to fight someone else. David just wants. David, at the end of the day, is just getting that so he can get his biggest payout fight. Him getting booked against Canelo would be his biggest pay-per-view fight, period. So he does have fast hands, though. That I'll give him. For his size, he has quick hands. But it would be interesting to see him move up in weight and fight guys that are a little bit around his weight naturally, instead of him having to cut so much. Because if the average for the guys that aren't in shape all year, I found it pretty astonishing that they can drop 20 to 30 pounds a fight. It's a lot of weight those fighters would drop. It would just make more sense that they were in fight ready weight throughout the year. Kind of like that Caleb Plant. He's definitely a Hall of Fame contender, but I like Caleb because he takes the sport serious. He doesn't do the drinking. He's pretty level-headed as a boxer. And he stays in shape, which means that he takes it serious. Because you gotta maintain yourself very well, or your body, or it'll break down on you. We can see the example right now with the career of Adrian Broner, alcoholic boxer, you know. Hey, Blint, what's up, man? I'm out here driving out to Irvine real quick. I'm actually going to see if I can get a little recording done while I'm there, because the coach instructor there, she's real good with the mitts. So I think that would look kind of cool on video. But I'm not the best at mitts though. So Yeah, I was kind of mentioning about I don't know if you follow boxing, Blunt, but I found a page this morning. I think it's called Canine Boxing, and he was just talking about stuff, but he didn't really believe in like weight bullies. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah, no, yeah, I don't want to say too much of that about Adrian, because but he does openly talk about the alcohol issue, you know. Um, and if it is deeper stuff, I wouldn't want to say that about him if it's not even, you know, even if it is or whatever, you know. Oh, that's cool. That's a good dad. I wish mine was around. That's good though, man. I'm doing that around now. As I'm older, I'm doing that for my kid. I'm actually around. Yeah. That's why that whole even like the David Benevidez thing, man. Like I'm not saying his body can't handle all that weight loss he drops to get these bigger prize fights, but doing that stuff, man, it takes a toll on your body. Dropping weight, I mean, you could ask even high school wrestlers, you know, those kids that are dropping weight, it's dangerous. And who are you mentioning real quick again? Oh yeah, Terrence for sure. Terrence for sure absolutely takes care of his body, man. Absolutely, you know, absolutely. And he's a wrestler too. Those wrestlers, man, they got like I don't know if you've ever wrestled against someone that's a wrestler. They're like, to me, they come off like freakishly strong sometimes. It's like, wait, why can't I move you? You just get pushed into position, man. Pause. This is wrestling. But you get, locked armbar or something in a position. You know what I mean? You can't. Wrestlers are like freakishly strong, man. Yeah, I'm a huge Terrence Crawford fan. It's funny, you know, a lot of people now that he won and stuff, it's like, oh, now they not saying you are, but publicly, it's like now that everybody gives Crawford his credit, you know. But man, I felt like I was one of the few that was sticking up for him when he was going against Earl. I looked crazy saying like, oh, I don't know though, it's gonna be closer than Earl thinks, and everybody's like, Earl's power. Yeah, my cousin, I'm out here in yeah, I think we talked about this. um, that fight took out in Vegas, and he made it out to that fight, which was really cool. And he was a big Earl fan, and I guess in his section though, he was sitting in an area with a bunch of Terrence Crawford fans. So that would have been fun being in that section if it was kind of like that. He was in the nosebleeds though, but still he could say he was there for the fight to watch Terrence Crawford versus Earl Spence. Yeah, but Terrence, real quick too. Even Terrence, yeah, yeah. No, that story of Crawford too, like A lot of kids grew up like that, though. Now, I didn't have a mom that like would pay them, but I distinctly remember, this is like kindergarten, that if you had a problem with another kid in the neighborhood, mom would not let you in the home until that was done. And it was typically done in the middle of the street, outside the house, like right there. So at least maybe, you know, that's not the all-American way of growing up. That's how I grew up. I was, you know, I was fighting when I was 5, man. It's insane, you know. 5-year-olds shouldn't be fighting. But yeah, parents grow up that style for sure, man. That is for sure out there, especially the Midwest. And those are really the kind of guys that, you know, when you figure out they're like that out there, it's like, you know, we ain't got a problem right now. I'm okay. You gotta pass on that. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's weird to have that mindset though. You know, I got my kid right now. He's in we're in Orange County. I grew up out poor in Texas. I was poor. So yeah, I would be terrified for my kid if he had to be around neighborhood kids that I kind of grew up around. Especially since my son is 14 and everything, but he's kind of on the spectrum. He's doing great in school though. But you know, those kind of kids, they get terrorized. You know what I mean? Like, because man, it's just it feels like a different world, you know? Well, I think that is correct. With well, there goes a T-Mobile service. I love it. Year 2024, $1,000 phone, and we still love it. But yeah, Earl just seemed a little bit more just direct, one direction, and Crawford seemed to be able to adapt much easier in the ring. And he had a lot more poise. I'm surprised that fight hasn't come out publicly yet. But yeah, out. This is a good convo. Appreciate it, Blunt. Thank you for texting anything, or you know, I'm super appreciative of it, man. I'm super anytime, you know. So, just in case that cut out, I do very much appreciate it, Blunt, for real. For real. Yeah, there were a lot of people too that were on pause, that seen that real deep potential of Crawford. I could see that, you know, especially when you can go back throughout his fights and you can see him adapt, you know, just get better. I mean, by adapting, I mean just his boxing skills overall got better. So, yeah, I could see someone being, if they were like the A1 Crawford fan from the beginning and could really eye that potential, then yeah, I could definitely see that. I really did think the fight was more 50-50 going into it. You know, I got into that hype of the media, where I thought it was going to be a 50-50 kind of fight, but it clearly wasn't. You know, that was clearly media playing a huge role in promoting the fight, but they did a good job. Yeah, so I'm just I'm getting like a late workout. He does, but he has very good instincts. Um, he has very good, and he has powerful shots. You know, so when you feel as though I'd assume you hit pretty strong. You know, you're not really getting off the line that often, which is, you know, you could just call that a bad habit. You know, in a way, he got caught out for his bad habit, getting getting left hooked by Neary in the first round. I actually thought that was the second round because I didn't buy the pay-per-view, but I didn't realize that was in the first. But you know, that's why it's always good, man. No matter how deep their skills get, it's the fundamentals that keep you straight. You know what I mean? Constantly having that hand up, moving. It's the fundamentals that'll keep you alive out there, for the most part. But Blunt too, man. Yeah, did you hear about that? Terrence and Crawford. Oh, yeah, it's exact. Yeah. Well, Crawford has that edge though in general because he does. You're right. He has that switch style. He can go from orthodox to southpaw, which is like that. You know, kind of like a throwback to like I believe like a Merle Haggard, right? He was a guy. He was also a late bloomer too. And the good thing too is that the fighters like a Crawford, when they talk about his age, you know, he can still perform at such a later age in life too. You know, these are like the years where a lot of the pros consider the retirement coming up soon. You know, so for him to still kind of even book a fight a year ahead, you know, that's all due to him taking care of his body, you know, and being able to withstand these professional fights as he gets older too. It's important, but you know, to each their own. You know, they're the pros. I'm not a pro. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that Crawford has a power jab. I could see that. But I think Crawford's biggest advantage, and you know that all comes from his instincts, was his counter timing that fight. You know, once he got that timing down, it was like, oh, this is just you just got to wait it out, boom boom. Just got to wait it out, boom boom. Just got to wait it out, boom boom. You know, and it was those like what you're talking about, like those little jabs, and they look like jabs, but they're probably coming off a lot more powerful inside the ring than we're kind of seeing. Because, not to disrespect Earl ever, but you could tell by his face, you know, it got peppered up. You know, he looked like he had allergy issues that night. You know, respectfully. You know, so I'm sure those punches weren't coming in light. You know. But Crawford is just a real, to me. I got a big. I'm a big fan of, not to do like a quick like top 5 or anything, but you know, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is like my Michael Jordan kind of thing. Yeah. And I don't mean to say it like that too, you know, even with jokingly, you know, he's a warrior. That's a warrior right there, you know. Cuz that's really the thing about boxing, that is that it's a sport, but nobody plays boxing. You don't play boxing. No one plays boxing. You can play basketball, you can play football, you can play all these other little sports. No one plays boxing. You can die in there. You know, these guys are warriors, so I'm sure my head would look 5 times worse than Earl if I was getting peppered up by Crawford, you know. So I know this is like internet stuff, so I would never want to come off as that disrespectful to a warrior like that, man. You know, I'm not in there fighting Crawford. He was. And the best man won that night. That's all that happened, you know. That's all. But yeah. Oh, you can't really. I'm not gonna move my phone right. Finally made it. 22 minutes later. It's that California traffic, man. I'm telling you. But hey, Blunt, I do appreciate it, man. This is cool. I do enjoy talking about like boxing in general. That's like the sport I follow, you know, outside battle rap. But I'm gonna head out real quick because I do have to double check to see if it was cool for me to do a live in there, you know. Because I've done it before, but it was for the 5:30 a.m. class. And that guy's cool. I know him. He's a kickboxing champ. But I haven't asked her, this coach, if it's okay. So I still want to be respectful. Yeah. All right, man. You too. Be careful out there. Enjoy your day. I appreciate you stopping through, man, for real. Peace.